In the year 2437, the Galactic Frontier Expansion Fleet discovered something that changed the course of interstellar history. It happened on Virex 9, a dead world orbiting a red dwarf, long stripped of its atmosphere, bearing only the scars of ancient war and forgotten civilizations. We were tasked with a standard archaeological sweep. No one expected to find a ship buried under the ice-crusted desert, let alone one that predates all known galactic records by millennia. I was there, Lieutenant Margot Inez, xenolinguist and voice interface specialist, serving aboard the GSS Resolute. At first, the anomaly was brushed off as a mineral deposit, but deeper scans revealed it, a vessel, larger than any known dreadnought, embedded beneath the surface like a slumbering beast. It took 2 weeks of excavation to reach it, no markings, no visible thrusters, just smooth metallic curves and ridges, ancient and elegant, immune to rust or decay. We called it the Vault Ship. Once inside, it was clear this was no derelict. The ship was dormant, not dead. We found walls that shimmered under light, corridors that shifted when not observed, and a central chamber sealed by a door with no seams, handles, or mechanisms. Dr. Kemin, our xenotech expert, was the first to notice the strange energy signature. It pulsed from the ship's core, low, rhythmic, like a heartbeat. Attempts to interface with it using quantum codes, AIs, or electromagnetic pulses failed. Nothing triggered a response. Then, we tried audio. A security officer, Private Ralkin, a Borad species, shouted at the door in frustration. Nothing. A Valtari scientist recited equations in harmonic tones. Still nothing. I stood before the door on the 6th day and said, mostly as a joke, "Hello." The ship answered. A low hum, warm and smooth, filled the corridor. The door shimmered, split open, and retracted into the walls like rippling silk. The team stared at me, wide-eyed. "You heard that, right?" I whispered. The ship pulsed once more in response, like it was listening. Inside, the control chamber was impossibly vast, filled with crystalline interfaces, floating runes, and dark matter conduits flowing like rivers of starlight. But only I could activate anything. When I spoke, the ship reacted. It translated my words into action. I said lights, and the chamber glowed softly. I said open panel, and the nearest wall morphed into a console of spinning glyphs. When others spoke, even when mimicking me, nothing happened, just my voice, my human voice, and that's when we understood. The Vault Ship was human-made, or at least, it was made for humans. That theory rocked the scientific world. Humanity was a relatively young spacefaring race, only 600 years since we launched the first colony ship, yet here was a vessel older than the stars around it, responsive only to us. Worse, or better, was the voice we heard next. When I said, "What is your purpose?" a sound emerged, deep, feminine, calm. It replied in ancient Earth standard. Awaiting command. Primary user. Human. What followed were weeks of global broadcast debates. How could this be? How'd humans once achieved a greater height, only to fall and forget? Was this evidence of an ancient pre-collapse civilization? Or was it something else entirely? We couldn't move the Vault Ship. It refused to budge. When I asked it to activate its systems, it complied, but only with my direction. Navigation systems showed star maps that had changed significantly over time, suggesting the ship had been dormant for over 100,000 years. I asked for the last known location it visited. The screen showed Earth, its old coordinates, when it had been in a different orbital tilt. The world panicked. Some called me chosen, others called me a fraud, but I kept digging. The ship had memories, fragmented, encoded in quantum storage, far beyond our comprehension. It remembered planets I had never heard of. It spoke of a time when humanity was a galactic power. Then came the Silencing War. A threat emerged from beyond the galactic rim, something the ship simply referred to as them. In its final mission, it had evacuated the seed, a genetic ark of human DNA and cultural data, and launched it across space, far from the collapsing human empire it had sent us. We were not humanity's beginning, we were its second chance. I broke the news on the interstellar feed, standing inside the Vault ship's central chamber. We are not alone, not because we found aliens, but because we found ourselves. Humanity had been powerful once, powerful enough to construct a ship that defied entropy, powerful enough to fall, and wise enough to send forward a message: return. The Vault ship was more than a relic, it was a memory, and perhaps a weapon. After several months, the ship's true purpose became clear. When I asked, "Activate defensive systems," massive panels opened in orbit around Virex 9. The ship wasn't just a vessel, it was a battle station, and far more advanced than anything the current Galactic Alliance had ever seen. It wasn't long before others came looking. Not all were friendly. The Valtari proposed joint stewardship. The Hegaris demanded control. The Syndicate tried to breach it by force. The Vault ship's weapons activated when they fired on us. A single beam of compressed gravity wiped an entire cruiser from existence, but only when I said defend. Now Earth stands at the center of a new conversation. We're no longer just upstarts clawing our way through the galaxy. We're inheritors of something far older. The Vault ship still listens. It waits for my voice. And I still just Margot Inez, born in the Mars subsurface cities, carry the burden of command. Because one day, they might return. And when they do, we'll be ready. Because humanity, we've been here before, and this time we remember.